Hello everybody, how are you today? Today we're going to talk about the ecosystem. Before we start our lesson today, I want you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more videos to come. Okay, what is the ecosystem? The sun is the principal source of energy input to the biological systems. The Earth receives two main types of energy from the sun, which is the light, or we call it the solar, and the heat. During photosynthesis, plants and some bacteria can trap light energy and convert it into chemical energy. Heterotrophic organisms obtain their energy by eating plants or animals that have eaten plants. Animals that have eaten plants. So all organisms directly or indirectly get their energy from the sun. So directly means like the plant, indirectly by eating the animals that eat the plants. Okay, the energy is passed from one organism to the other and in a food chain. But unlike water and elements such as carbon and nitrogen, energy does not return in a cycle. So energy goes out by organisms and is lost to the environment. Can you see here now? Plant, this tree is the producer. We call it the producer, or the grass. Any green plants we call it producers. Okay, because they make their food by a process called photosynthesis, and they make their own food by themselves in the presence of sunlight. Here there are those animals that, we call them primary consumers or herbivores, those animals that feed on plants like grass or trees. Okay, so these animals that feed on plants, we call them primary consumers or herbivores. Then we have the secondary consumers, which we call them the small carnivores. Carnivores means those animals that feed on meat. They eat flesh of other animals. They feed on flesh of other animals, like the snake feeds on the primary consumer. So the secondary consumers feed on primary consumers. And then that we have finally the tertiary consumers, which are large carnivores. They feed on animals also. Okay, so they feed on animals. They are the most dangerous animals. So we have this blue part is the heat energy lost from the system. Okay, can you see it? And then the pink part here, the energy flowing through the system. So this is the energy flowing and this is the energy lost. Okay, energy is lost at each level in the food chain, as in the example below. Energy lost through the process of respiration as heat. Energy used up for movements, to search for food. For example, animals that search for food, find a mate, escape from predators. These are energy used up for movements. Okay, warm-blooded animals like birds and mammals maintain a standard body temperature, so they lose heat to the environment. Also, man is considered to be a mammal. Okay, warm-blooded animals lose heat energy in feces and urine. Some of the materials in the organism being eaten is not used by the consumer. So some materials in the organism being eaten is not used by the consumer. For example, locust does not eat the roots of maize, and some of the parts eaten are not digestible. So here we have, this is the producer, or this is the plant. Okay, it takes in carbon, it makes its own food by a process called photosynthesis. So it takes in carbon dioxide from the air and gives out oxygen. And here, so we call it primary, or we call it a producer. This is called the producer. And then we have the primary consumer, which feeds on the producer, and then we have a secondary consumer which feeds on the primary consumer, and then we have the tertiary, which is not here, but we have it, it feeds on the secondary consumer. Then when the plants and the animals they die in the soil, okay, what happens? Decomposers act on those dead organisms, dead organic matter. Ecosystem. Even plants do not make use of all the light energy available to them. This is because sunlight is reflected off shiny leaves, and is the shiny of the shiny leaves, which is with the wrong wavelength for chlorophyll to trap. So passes through the leaves without passing through the chlorophyll. Oh my god.